This
Previously
is what I got
on
for
Hunting with Tripler.
Switch Light Black. It was a haul, and it was a massive haul. And for the Switch Light Yellow.
What's happening, folks? Tripler here, and today I decided to restore this cruddy old Nintendo Entertainment System, the original, the OG, and take it from terrible to slightly less than terrible. So stick around. You don't want to miss this.
I collect so many things. Would you like to share this journey with me? I will show you the prizes I got today. So come along with me, come on and join in the chase, yeah!
Alright folks, in today's episode, what we've done is we've decided yet again to restore another Nintendo Entertainment System. The reason I do this as a reseller, it's not always about finding items and flipping them. Your reselling business should include the very basic tools you need to restore or at least clean some consoles like this. And what you can expect in return is increased profits. The video will take you through a series of progressions. What are the tools that you need? How to disassemble the unit itself? How to clean it? How to make a slight modification to this NES? And then what are the videos that I use personally to help and guide me through this process? Because this video, though I've consolidated certain videos kind of into one, there are those videos that really hyper focus on some of the things that I'm doing that can help you a little better than what I'm showing you here on this video. The other thing is I want to mention that there are results that are inevitably going to be different. And I approve what I'm doing here just because I've done it before. But the results do vary. It's not always a perfect restoration. And I really do enjoy this. It helps break up the monotony of what a reseller might do every single day, and the finality and the completion to it. It just feels really, really good. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Tell me what you guys think in the comments, and let's take it away.
The stuff you need for this restoration. The first thing you need is an electric screwdriver, a thin Phillips head screwdriver, tweezers, some cutters, isopropyl rubbing alcohol, Salon Care 40, the Retro Brite cream, and a towel, and a disposable paintbrush, and a soft bristle brush.
And the disassembly part of this is going to be incredibly easy. You need a long Phillips head screwdriver, relatively thin, but you're going to hit these 6 points here. I'll mark them on the screen. And once you've done that, we can move the bottom tray away from the top plate, and I'll show you what the inside looks like once we've done that. And now it's as simple as pulling the top off, making sure you save your screws, and from here I've already started to remove the various screws here. I would recommend this is where you might consider using your electric screwdriver because if you don't and the screws are really tight, then you will get blisters. Promise you that. You have 2 on this side, you have 2 in the back, you will have 3 or 4 on this side, and once that's happened, you'll be able to remove this top cover. Once the top cover comes off, you will have an additional 2 here, an additional 2 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Once that's removed, you'll be able to pull out, this is the loading unit. And once you've gotten that far, it's even easier. You can remove this board, which will likely come with the bottom tray as well. And it's only a compression fit from here. So the simplest thing to do to remove those 2 things is to just pull it apart, and that will remove it. And then to get it completely free and clear, you'll remove the 2 controller ports that are plugged into the board. And I believe this is the power source coming from the button. And once you've done that, then we can get to the part where we're gonna do a slight modification on this board here. This is not the nicest bathroom in the world, but you're gonna see basically with a soft bristle brush getting into some of these crevices to clean off all the dirt and debris. That's all you really need to do on the first step. And from there, what we'll do is we will get the Retro Brite ready. You can see the yellowing a lot better here than you could in the last one. So let's get this baby cleaned up, and then we will get the Retro Brite ready to go. So there's no possible way I could have shown you what I did. So this little chip here, 3193A, you can see that starting from the left to the right, 4, I guess, little pins over, I broke it off, and that's on purpose. So apparently that disables that reset, or that, not the reset button, but the resetting of the game when you put it in. I would use a pick. I'm going to put a link in the description to the video that I used to basically do all the refurbishment here. But for any of you looking a close-up of what you need to take out, that's the one. And just to give you context on the board, that's where it's at. Folks, the next step is to clean this 72 pin. And what we have to do to clean the portion that makes contact with the game is we actually have to take these tweezers and we have to get inside and actually lift up the contact itself so that the ability to sand this down is easier. What's happening is there's a little bit of a plastic tab that separates the two of them. You can see I've already gone through here and I've already lifted these up, but I'll show you again. So the idea here is to get underneath and to just pull it up a little bit. Enough that when you get a little bit of sandpaper in there, you're making contact with the points themselves. You're not doing a whole lot. All you're doing is just pulling up on this little metal tab here. And again, I'll link in the description to a video that shows you this process a lot better than what I've done. I am very much an amateur at this, but I definitely find it enjoyable and definitely worth doing. Okay, so I've just poured on the Salon Care 40 here, and I'm just going to use a paintbrush to evenly distribute the Salon Care 40 across the surface of this. We'll do all the sides just like this, and make sure that it's coated as even as possible. And then we'll do that to all the sides. Put it in the plastic bag and let the sun do its work. These sections have been properly dosed with the Salon Care 40 and a really cheap paintbrush. We're gonna put it out in the sun and we are going to let it do its thing. See the results in a couple of hours. So I only have 70% isopropyl, which is as good as I can put together here for this video. We're just going to clean these contacts where this here will come back into contact with the main board, and after it's, I mean, essentially it should be as clean as we could possibly make it, and that's all we'll need to do. We'll wait for the Retro Brite, we'll put it back together and see how it went. I've already brought the bottom half in. The bottom half turned out okay, and the top half didn't. It's not too bad. You know, the color definitely changed, but we did get some streaking on the top, which I'm going to clean off right now, and hopefully that's just the Salon Care excess, but could end up just being that you know, this is the danger of using the sun when you use Retro Brite. And this could be a casualty of war here. But anyway, this is probably about as good as I'm willing to let it go, and fear of making more streaking on it. All right, so let's put this thing back together. This is all cleaned up now. This is about as good as it's going to get, and you can sort of see the streaking on the top there. That's the casualty. The rest of it does look pretty good, and we'll go test it and see how the board is reacting to the refurbishment. Guys, it's been a few days since I actually last left the NES. What I did off screen is I actually plugged it in, threw a game in, and I tested it. The first game worked, which was Zelda. The second, third, fourth, and fifth game, not so much. And I realized after kind of looking at the pins that some of them were relatively uneven. So they have to maintain kind of a constant contact on the game board, on the game cartridge itself. Because if it doesn't, then you're not getting all of the information from the game to the board. And that was, I think, the problem. So I've already tested one game. I'm going to show you guys that game, firing it on, and show you that the red blinking light of death has been completely removed, which was one of the modifications we wanted to make here, and then test like 3 or 4 other games just to make sure I've got it right. So I leveled out all of the pins, and I think we're good to go. So let's check this out. I didn't put the cover on, obviously, because when you're testing things and you have to get back into it, there's no point in putting it all the way back together. So throw it down, turn it on. All right, so first try, and as you can see, there's no blinking light of death anymore. That's been completely removed. So good sign, number one, but let's test some other games just to make sure it is truly good. Tetris right here, throw Tetris in. Now sometimes, guys, if it doesn't work, it's not just the system that could be bad. Sometimes the contacts on the board, on the game cartridge itself could be bad. So you kind of have to, yeah, so this one clearly is working. Let's blow on it to move some of that dust around. Try again, and I'll bet we get pretty good results. Yeah, okay, so far so good. Hogan's Alley, if I remember correctly, is one of those games where you need, I think, the zapper plugged in. Yeah, so that's actually working. You do need the zapper plugged in. So I would call this a success. And now I'm going to put it back together, show you what everything looks like all finished up, but very happy so far. I've got a little bit of cleaning inside of the controller bay there, but that's the last piece of cleaning I have left to do. And we are now ready to reassemble the NES, and we will show you the final after pictures of what this bad boy looks like, all pieced back together. These 2 front screws, as you're reattaching this loader here, don't tighten them too tight, because if you do, it will stay in the closed position and you won't be able to pop it back up. So all you have to do is just release these just slightly, and you can already see it's just slightly too tight already. So just a little bit of release, little pressure release on the screws. Works just great.
And that was today's episode, folks. As of today, it has been probably 5 days since I made the listing, and to be honest with you, I haven't had a whole lot of bites on it yet, and also the market has really been flooded with video games as of late, so Probably some of you are already starting to see this in various consoles and various systems, that the prices that have spiked are definitely coming down. So this is one of those items that I'm going to maintain the price I have and hope by the time we get into the holiday season, I'll definitely get what I want. This is one of those items I don't mind sitting on because I want to get that premium, because the work I did on it is worth the money I should get back on it. So again, you saw the progression of what I did here. I think the before and after pictures look fantastic. And in the end too, it's not a perfect restoration. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't be. If there's a console that you guys would definitely like to see me try to restore, again, I'm an amateur at this, I'll definitely give it a shot. I'm willing to try anything. But as usual, I always appreciate you guys coming, joining, subscribing, liking, and you know what? I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
What's happening,
Next
folks?
time on
And this is the segment
Hunting
called
with Tripler.
Sitting Down with a Reseller. His name is Tim. His channel is Over the Years, and Tim loves vintage items.
So I'm always like bouncing around. So like if you watch my channel, you'll notice too that like I put a lot of other people in my videos that are like super important to me. I've been full-time since February 1st of 2020 was my first day full-time.